Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. An investigation is being launched by the police watchdog, the IPCC, into allegations that senior Metropolitan Police officers were involved in covering up child sex abuse over 4 decades. It's claimed that the force suppressed evidence and halted investigations because MPs and police officers were taking part in the abuse. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent Tom Simons. Tumbling oil prices have had a big impact on the North Sea oil and gas industry. More than 1,300 jobs have been lost over the last 6 months alone, and leading figures have been warning that the industry's future could be at risk. But now the BBC understands that help will be at hand in this week's budget in the shape of a major tax cut for North Sea companies, which the industry thinks could be as high as 10%. Here's our business editor, Kamal Ahmed. Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. The police officer in charge on the day of the Hillsborough tragedy in 1989 has admitted for the first time that his failure to close a tunnel into the football stadium was the direct cause of the deaths of 96 Liverpool fans. Former Chief Superintendent David Duckenfield also accepted at the inquests in Warrington that he froze as the tragedy unfolded. Our correspondent Judith Moritz is outside the coroner's court. Judith. Almost a week after a devastating cyclone in the South Pacific, relief workers are finally beginning to reach the more remote islands around Vanuatu, where many homes have been destroyed. Our correspondent John Donnison and his team were among the first to reach one of the outer islands, Mosso, where residents say they're having to drink seawater to survive. What makes a penguin waddle? Scientists at the London Zoo have been trying to find out by putting the penguins through their paces on a specially built treadmill. But why? Rebecca Morell has been finding out. A white police officer has been charged with murder for shooting dead a black man who was running away. He'd been stopped in his car because of a faulty brake light. The officer, Michael Slager, had originally claimed that 50-year-old Walter Scott had tried to grab his stun gun. But then footage came to light, filmed by a passerby, which showed the officer firing 8 shots at him. Our correspondent, Ali Maqbool, has spent the day in Charleston, South Carolina. His report contains some images that viewers may find distressing. It's the biggest deal in the energy sector for a decade. Royal Dutch Shell is buying the UK's third biggest energy company, British BG Group, for almost £50 billion. Between them, the companies already employ more than 7,000 people in the UK. The deal will give Shell faster access to new energy reserves in countries such as Brazil and Australia, as our business editor Kamal Ahmed explains. She was the original TV chef. Marguerite Patton, the woman who pioneered cookery broadcasting in Britain, has died at the age of 99. During World War II, she was the home economist who helped educate Britons on how to survive on rations. She first appeared on television after the war, and she wrote more than 170 books, which sold all around the world. Daniela Relf looks back at her life.